Hello there. My name is Megan, and this is the Little Fish Stitches podcast. I am the crafty person behind this podcast and my Etsy shop, which is Creations by Guppy on Etsy, and Little Fish Stitches yarn, and project bags, and a few other random little bits and pieces. Today is Tuesday, February 6th? Yes, 6th. And it's been a busy couple of weeks since I last podcast. Let's see here. Oh yes, introductions. Besides myself, I am married. I have a couple of boys via that marriage. My husband, Brian, and I, we've been married for 17 and a half years, a little over 17 and a half years. And our older son, James, is 14. Our younger son, Connor, is 8. And, that's me and my family. And we live in Aberdeen, which is a small town on the coast of Washington State. And if you're into 90s rock, Kurt Cobain grew up in Aberdeen. Anyway, I don't know why I keep mentioning him. I don't care. Other people care. It's a I guess it's a point of interest. I mean, one of the few in Aberdeen. So, yeah. Okay. Knock it off, Megan. Oh, yes. Okay, so admin stuff. There's only one real admin thing, and that is the 100 YouTube subscriber giveaway. We hit it. I had the thread open through most of the month of January, and I closed it on February 1st. And so I will, after I have done the podcast, because I am forgetful, after I've done the podcast, I will draw from the entries in the thread on the Ravelry group, and I will put across the screen, up here, down here, something like that, the winner. And so if you have won, please contact me and let me know your contact information. You can either via Ravelry or contact me via Ravelry. I'm not the best at checking Ravelry, so if you forget for a couple days, I'll probably forget for a week. So there you go. So if you follow me on Instagram, that's a good way to contact me as well. Yes. All right. So winner. Woo! I will probably let the winner choose a skein of yarn from my shop and a bag from my shop. I don't have any handy that I'm willing to give away at the moment. And by that I mean I'm looking at a new one that you guys will see here in a few minutes. So, and that's the only one I have handy that's mine. Anyway, yes, babbling. Stop it. Okay, moving on. Finished objects. So, I will start with my older finished object here, and this one has been my car knitting for quite a while, and then I grabbed it and took it in the house and finished my Freckled Whimsy peppermint hot chocolate socks. And you guys, I got the Spiced Pear Tuft Woolens sock soap. Oh, it smells so good. I just want to sit here and sniff my socks. And I know that sounds really weird, but they're clean and they smell good. So anyway, I've worn them once. I couldn't help it. I was going to try to save them and wait to put them on the podcast, but I finished them like a week and a half ago, shortly after my last podcast, and I was like, I'm not waiting that long, so I will wear them once, and then I will wash them, and then I will not, do it again, wear them again. That's right, what I mean. So, toes and heels are Cascade Heritage Sock. I don't think there's a colorway name for that. And then, of course, there's the Freckled Whimsy self-striping. And I knit these on a size 1. And I did these 2 at a time. And I did 20 rows of 1x1 rib and Jenny's super stretchy bind off. I also, on these ones, and I think I may continue doing this in the future with other socks, at least the vanilla ones, not any patterned ones probably, because it would maybe look a little weird. But I added 1 stitch per needle, one stitch per needle. I can't talk, I'm sorry. So each side of the sock gained a stitch, so it was just 2 extra stitches, about an inch after putting in the heel. So it was probably somewhere in here on this sock. So just that little extra leg room, because my legs are not slender. It's nice, just a little bit. So it went from a 64 stitch round on the foot to a 66 stitch round on the leg. So there you go. FO number 1. And then FO number 2, I cannot show you yet. As I mentioned on my last podcast, I was doing a test knit that, where'd it go? Right here. That I knit out of this Knit Picks City Tweed Aran in the snowshoe colorway. So this is the yarn that I used, and I ended up buying 2 extra and not actually getting into it because I had like a yard left over when I bound off. I'm like, okay, destash anyone? Anybody need these? Contact me. I will happily destash. Anyway, so I finished the sweater. I actually finished it last night, and yeah, so I can't show you because at the request of the designer, I have to not share until she has released the pattern. So, in progress was fine, but completed object, she wanted to wait until the pattern is released. So that is what we're going to do. So when I can show you, I will show you. If I remember. If I don't, remind me, people. Yeah. So, and then my third finished object is a sewing finish object, and it's a new bag that I have come up with. And one thing I have decided to do, normally when I do my drawstring bags, and I'm going to show you just the top of this, they're ribbon drawstrings, which I like for the most part, but the way I do mine to save sewing time, I have one piece that goes all the way around, and I don't want to have to put a hole on this side. So that leaves it so it kind of always gapes a little bit right here at the opening. This morning, because it was bugging me, I have ordered little spring clips for the drawstrings, and they will become paracord instead of ribbon drawstrings, which means then the bag will stay closed. Ta-da! That'll be great. So this is my new bag design, and this is one of my large size, and I will probably be doing this in large and medium, maybe small. I don't know. I don't sell a lot of the small bags because they're just sock size, and honestly it's kind of nice to have a bag that's a little bit bigger sometimes. Anyway, so this is the same size as my large bag, and this is what it looks like. So I have a big strap handle, and you see this lacy thing, it's a zipper, and you see I put some of my pins on here, and then of course I've got the traditional, for me, drawstring top, and it is a round bucket style, sort of. It's a round bag, So I have been thinking about this design for a while, because I like to have a pocket. I kind of like to have the pocket on the outside. I don't want things slipping out of the pocket. And I also like the design of this type of strap over a over-the-top strap. Although I like my over-the-top strap too, at least for the smaller designs. Anyway, so this is something I whipped up on Friday morning before I took off for my brother-in-law's surprise 50th birthday party in Walla Walla. So I had sent the kids to school for, till lunchtime, so they didn't miss too much school, and then we drove to Walla Walla on Friday, which I will talk a little bit more about later. So, that's open, and then flip my top down. I've got a couple of sock projects in here, but this is my favorite thing. Is this zipper goes all the way around, so you can put all sorts of bits and pieces in it. Sorry, I'm like holding it down here looking at it, and you guys can't see it. Smart, Megan. So this whole all the way around, the zipper goes all the way from one side of the seam to the next. And I have in here my little Lolo bar and an extra set of sock needles. And I think that's it right now. But it's nice because I can put my needles in there without them getting all wonky from being in a little tiny pocket instead. And so this is my prototype bag. And I love this lace type zipper, and I've been searching and searching and searching online to where I could buy them in bulk. No luck yet. I need to keep looking. I bought these. I have two more like this, and one is already claimed, which I will explain a little bit about later. So technically I only have one left. So I've been looking, trying to find these sweet little lacy zippers. It's a Coats & Clark zipper, and I bought it on clearance at Joann's. And I'm having trouble finding them at a reasonable price. And yeah. But anyway. So this is something you can be looking for soon in the Etsy store, my Etsy store. So, ta-da! There's my little logo. So, the bottom of this is canvas, and part of the reason I wanted to design this pocket is I like my little pins on my bags, but I don't like the little backs inside my bag snagging on the yarn. So these are tucked inside the pocket, and I like the simple, it's just a faint design on here, but I have some stuff coming up in acquisitions that you will see that I will be making some bags like this out of. So let's see here, what should I show you first? Moving on to whips. Sorry, adjusting position here. Let's see. Okay. I'll start with that crafty little fox bag. My Comfort Fade cardigan. I've called the right words. So, I haven't made a whole lot of progress because I was distracted, as you will see a little bit later. But let's see here. I've got so I've done about an inch on my cardigan. So yep, I'm on to color 3, and I think now that I have finished the test knit sweater that I can't show you yet, and I have pulled myself away from my other distractions, that this will get some more love this week. So these are, this brown is Hazelnut's Lively Decay, and the Acorn colorway. And this purple is also Hazelnut's Lively Decay. And I'm not sure what colorway because I lost the label already. And, but anyway, it's a beautiful deep purple, and that's a good representation of it right there. Maybe just a little bit brighter on screen than it is in real life, but still very pretty. And then this lighter pinky lavender color is Stumptown DK from the Polka Dot Sheep. And the colorway is called Petals. So that's where I'm keeping my pile of extra cardigan yarn. So I've made a little bit of progress on it, just where that little birdie is. So, and it's in the body part where it's just miles of reverse garter stitch. So knit one row, purl one row, knit one row, purl one row. Good thing I am okay with purling. So that is that whip. And now on to, I'm going to show you, this is an acquisition in this bag from Lila Styles. I had to get it. My boys absolutely love Star Wars, and I love absolutely anything feminine and pink, and so this was a really good combination. So, because I enjoy Star Wars too, but I'm not quite as into it as my boys are. But anyway, so I had to get this, and her prices on her bags are really decent. And this was $19 for this nice big bag. So, a little bit of a box bottom, like 3-inch, maybe 4-inch box bottom. No, I would say 3-inch. 3-inch box bottom right there. And it's a good 12 inches wide. So, and this is nice heavy duty canvas. And it's lined just simple black material in here, but it feels like there's a little bit of a interfacing in there too. But what I've been, I need to wind that. That's mine. This is one of my colorways that I experimented with a while back, and I still haven't posted in the shop. It's on the rainbow tweed base that I have. Anyway, in this bag is my Cozy Memories blanket, and it has been growing ridiculously. This was the distraction I've been mentioning. So, it does not currently have any partially done squares. I do need to weave in some ends, but, yeah. It's going to take up the whole screen, almost. And then there's that one funky little green one right there. I started the next row. So I think last time you guys saw this, I was about, let's see here. I was at my, this is when I died. Apocalypse Barbie? I can't remember the name of it right now. Anyway, so I had done that one, and I had done this row. So what I have done is I've done this one, which is a mystery mini that I got either as part of an order from somebody or a swap. Not a swap, part of the back in November, December when we were doing the Get Your Yarn Wish Granted thing. And this is my Leave a Peppermint Stick for Old Saint Nick colorway. And this is another mystery mini. And this is what tiny small amount I had left of my Doctor Who colorway from Valkyrie Fibers. And then this is just some knit picks. Stroll to fill in that I had used as the contrast on the socks that I made for me and my husband. And here's what I squeezed in of my Peppermint Hot Chocolate colorway. And then there's another mystery mini. And then I had to fill in with another color. So I just randomly went with this little tiny piece of, I think this is Nitpick Stroll as well, this little lavender. And then here's another mystery mini, and another mystery mini. And this is, this one I made my socks for my boss out of. I can't remember. Anyway, and this one is one of my experiments. And it does not look very pretty here, but it's actually like neon pink and black, neon yellow, pink, and black with gold sparkle, gold stellina. And then here's another mystery mini, and I really kind of like how this one turned out because it started out lavender and faded into white, but then it was going on into pink again. There's still some left. It'll probably end up in the blanket as well. And then here's some Lollipop yarn self-striping Christmas, and this one is penguin yarn self-striping. These were my boys' Christmas socks, these 2 squares. So, and then down here, Lemonade Shop. It looks kind of funny because I had, well, you can see the yarn is crinkly. I didn't bother to soak it, and I had torn out a pair of socks that was one of my early pairs last year, and I hadn't even gotten to the heel. I was doing toe up, and it had looked terrible because my toes were way too small for one thing. And so I just ripped it out, and then I used part of the yarn that I had ripped out to make a square. And I will eventually make bright green socks with little rainbow stripes. So, yes, I got totally distracted by my Cozy Memories blanket. And so that's where a lot of my knitting effort went over the past couple weeks. And yeah, so I've made some progress on that, and now I have run out of sock yarn for the most part again to put into that. And I need to set, ooh, I do have some of this crazy pink stuff right here that I'm going to throw in the near future. There we go. I have a basket full of self-striping yarn over there, and that needed to go in there. And then here's what's left of my cake of this crazy bright green yarn from the Lemonade Shop, which I can't remember the name of. I'm hearing sirens. I hope everything's okay. Yes. And I knit my squares, in case you're interested in knowing how I do my squares. Size 3. I bought these specifically for making my Cozy Memories blanket. These are my size 3 Chow Goose, like 16-inch. And I do 51 stitches to start, and then I do a center double decrease with the nice ridge. And yeah. Yeah, that's about all. It's a Cozy Memories blanket, and I like this bag. It works well for it right now with the size it is. It'll fit in there for maybe another 2 or 3 rows, and then I've got to find a bigger bag. And then, let's see here. I also have an acquisition in this bag. This bag is not an acquisition. This is my Christmas bag from Sunshine and Bubblegum, but it's too cute to not use around year-round, so it's Christmas ornaments, but they're in like pastel-y colors. And I started a pair of socks for my husband. And this is just the Knit Picks Felici. I can't remember what this gray color is exactly. So this is sock 1, and I'm knitting these. I got a pair of the Addy Flexi Flips, and you can see they're kind of wonky looking after me using them. Can you see that? They're a little bit wonky. It's just the way I hold needles, I guess. I think I like these, and I'll probably continue using them, but I know a lot of people really like them. They're okay. For me, it's just another pair of needles. I still think I love Magic Loop the best. So, the toe is Knit Picks Stroll in Rainforest Heather. So, and then I don't have the label on the Stripey Felici because I have it in this funky little tube flexy thing so I can have it be center pull and not make a mess. Which I got that at Joann's so many years ago, I don't even know. So that's my husband's sock of one, and this has been my car project. And I sit and knit on this at school pickup usually, for the most part. and when I go to work, when I ride with my sister, she usually drives because she doesn't want to move all her heavy work stuff into my car, and I don't blame her. So she drives, and I buy her coffee for driving. So anyway. And then I have 2 more sock projects in this bag. And one I have posted quite a bit, well, not quite, twice on Instagram. And it is my mess of a knitting project. Holy guacamole. Okay, so this is my speckled space socks that I'm knitting in Knit Picks Felici in the hibiscus colorway. And I love this pattern. It's so easy to memorize and it looks so cool. And this is the same pattern that I knit for my boss on her socks. And I wasn't paying attention. I was going to do the heel that came with the sock pattern, which by the way is free. So if you're interested in making these, just go look up Speckled Space and on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. And I was going to do the heel flap and gusset that came with the sock pattern, and totally spaced and just kept going. And I'm like, oh, it's time for a heel. Oh, I guess I'm doing the Fish Lips Kiss heel. Oh well, I don't care. So Fish Lips Kiss heel is in progress. I haven't finished it on this. And the heel is actually in a contrast color. And it is Premier Yarns, Deborah Norville collection, Serenity sock weight, and this is really old. This is from my stash from a couple of years ago at least. And this is 50% superwash merino wool, 25% rayon, and 25% bamboo. And it's a fairly nice yarn, so I mean, and it works really well with this, so it's a contrast color. So that is that, and that was because, I mean, this was another distraction from, I mean, last time was so sweater heavy when I was talking about my whips, that I kind of just, my mind was like, I can't handle it, and I did a bunch of squares on my Cozy Memories blanket and cast on this pair of socks and my husband's pair of socks. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, and then I am still working on my second sock for my design, which I still have to, I just finished the heel, so I gotta do the leg and then I'll be done with the pair, and I'm still not showing the pattern off yet because it's not quite ready. And this is, my friend Jen, who is the Perfect Stitch Fiber Company. And I really wish I could have seen her this past weekend because she lives over on the east side. And by the east side, I mean the east side of Washington State. This is her K-Money base, which is her merino cashmere nylon. And this is the porcelain Christmas tree colorway. But it's mostly pinks and greens on natural base, and I love it. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a Christmas one. So, size 1 needles on both of these. That's my typical sock needle is a size 1. And I usually, for myself, do a 64 stitch sock. So, that is all my whips. Oh my goodness. Blazing right through. Yeah. I did not touch my Sunset Highway sweater. As I said, I got distracted and I finished one sweater. So, hey, only 2 sweaters on the needles at this point. And 3 pairs of socks and a Cozy Memories blanket. And I still have my starting point wrap that I do want to get back to. sometime soon. I need to pick that up again, and finish that. I started it like in May of last year when they were doing it as the mystery knit along. Yeah, I don't think I do mystery knit alongs well because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I need to see the finished product to know if I'm going to actually knit it. So I did that. So I want to show you guys something before I frog it. I cast this on, I think in February of last year. And I would say 80% done and decided I wasn't going to finish basically. And it's just been sitting there because I was like, oh. So this is the Headlands shawl. Can't remember the designer's name right now, but I will put it in my show notes at the bottom if you're interested in actually making this. It is really, honestly, it's very pretty. The thing that I have struggled with is I don't think I'm going to wear it because the size is not big enough to suit me, even with blocking. I've just decided that I really like really big shawls and or scarves. So this is the Headlands shawl, and I can't remember what this yarn is. But I mean, I used most of a single skein of yarn for this. And then I know this green for the lace part is Cascade Heritage Sock. And it's really pretty. If it was like, you know, so I could wrap it around my neck 3 times, that would be great, but it's not. And I know I'm not going to wear it. And so I want to use the yarn for other things. So look at this, guys. Here we go. I'm really doing it. All this hard work. And I'm just pulling the needle out of the... Here we go. Oh, come on. Yep. All right. I'm really doing it. And, you know, especially that lace part. So much hard work, and it's just down the drain. But you know what? I'd rather salvage the yarn and use it for something I like rather than let it sit there and do nothing. So, live stitches, y'all. So, da-da-da-da. Yeah, so now I gotta wind this stuff up and deal with it. Trying to think, is there anything else that I need to share with you? Oh yeah, a little bit of shop news. Besides the fact that I'm making a new style of bag with a big, I'm going to be using, besides my standard white, you see this trim is black on this one. I've before only made my bags with white binding on them. I now have gold binding and black binding. So, new colors, new options. It'll be fun to experiment with those. So I will have some, hopefully in the next month. I don't push myself very hard with the shop. It's mostly, for me, my shop is about earning a little extra income to cover my yarn stash. Just cover my crafty costs, basically. And so, yeah. So I will have some new bags going up in the shop in the near future. And along those lines, I will show you, I went to Walla Walla this weekend, and as part of my trip to Walla Walla, I went to a really awesome fabric store, where I found, they carry cotton and steel, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have a couple of bags that I'm going to be making. So this I had to get this. I mean, these little, I can't even remember what these things are called, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You grew up playing with these things, looking at these little pictures on these things. I loved these. And so it's going to be paired with this navy polka dot canvas. This is just regular quilting cotton. And it's going to become a bag similar to this. So that is, I have enough for, I think, 3 or 4, maybe more bags of this style. And then I have, it's almost the same. This is what caught my eye on this one. But see this little cotton and steel label on here? So cute. This is canvas. Now if I could untie this. Oh my gosh. Get off. It's like double knotted, you guys. I can't get it off. I want to, I haven't, golly. I want to look at this fabric a little more because I haven't even really looked at it. They only had these rolls of 2-yard chunks of canvas. Oh, good grief. Okay, off. So it's, just, there's bingo and these little stars and houses. This is just so cute. Oh, yeah. So, oh my goodness. So this is a cotton and steel canvas, and I will be making the same style bag using this cotton and steel and this cotton and steel as the top, where on this one the majorly patterned part is the top. This being the canvas will be the majorly patterned part. So, and this is a silver metallic on here. So I am excited about that. And then, just because it was there and I had almost bought it one time before online somewhere, octopus fabric. I love this fabric. I am so excited I got it. I might make bags out of it. I don't know. I will definitely make myself a bag out of it. But if you don't know, my husband and I have a weird octopus story, and it's definitely G-rated, just in case you're worried. A couple years ago, we went to a Christmas white elephant gift exchange. I bought at our local Ross store a white octopus to bring to the white elephant gift exchange. We both were like, maybe we should keep this for ourselves, but then we ended up bringing it to the exchange. But we both really liked it, and we didn't want to give it away in reality. Well, 2 years later, I think it was about 2 years later, so this is about 4 years ago this gift exchange happened. So 2 years ago, for our anniversary, my husband and I each got each other octopus statues, figurine things. He got me a small white ceramic one, and I got him a larger, like, resin golden one. So now those are in our bedroom on a shelf. And, I don't know. It's just funny, because we both really like the octopus. I don't know why. It's just cool. Anyway, so I had to get the fabric. I mean, what can I say? So there we go. And this, I can't remember the brand of this one. It's not cotton and steel. Where's the selvage here? This is Tokyo Milk. So that's the brand, Tokyo Milk, I guess. So, which I think is the same brand as this one. The patterned one here. Anyway, so, and then, there will be, okay, that's enough of that. So I'm going to get into acquisitions, which obviously those were acquisitions, but yarny acquisitions. So also while in Walla Walla, I went to, there's this awesome store in downtown Walla Walla on Main Street. And it's called Pearl 2. I think it's, yeah, it's just called Pearl with like a little number 2, like a squared. And on Instagram, they are Pearl 2 W2 because, you know, Walla Walla 2. Anyway, and I've been following them for a while on Instagram because I knew they were in Walla Walla and I wanted to check them out the next time I went over there because that's where my older sister lives. And so I went there with my friend Lacey of the Knitted Cupcake, who I will talk a little bit more about in a little bit. I got some beautiful, beautiful yarn, and I went a little crazy. So, this one is So Happy Jane, and this is her Blissful Sock base. And look at that. So pretty. It's this pale blue with all these pink and green and dark blue speckles. And this is bouncy fingering, 75-25 superwash merino nylon. Anyway, and it's just gorgeous. And this one is called Morning Fog. Is the name of the colorway. Oh, it's all crinkled here. You can't. Morning Fog from So Happy Jane. So that is one. Now, they had a table called All the Single Ladies. So it's things they had single skeins of. And I got some of the Plucky Knitter. And this is 90-10 superwash merino nylon. And it's 425 yards. And it's Holland Mint, I think is the colorway. I don't understand because it's lavender, but okay. And I just thought it was so pretty. I mean, I don't normally go for indie dyed tonals. If I'm going to buy indie dyed, I want crazy or really pretty or something. But I just love this. And it's so pretty. Because, you know, I figure if I'm a dyer, if I need a tonal, I can do it myself. But I couldn't resist. And it was on sale. So it was 10% off, which is not a huge amount, but it was still, I just thought it was really pretty. And I thought this would make a great shawl. Totally my colors. Or socks. I don't know yet. But anyway. And then this store carries hedgehog. Ah! So I got me some hedgehog fibers. The twist sock base in the goblin colorway. And this is 80% blue face luster and 20% nylon. So these will definitely be socks. And I'm pretty sure I'll be casting them on in the near future. So that's all I got at the yarn store. And then I came home and found a couple packages waiting for me on the counter when I walked in the door. And I had begun to wonder where this one was. Because I'm pretty sure I ordered it at the end of December. And so it'd been a while. And I understand that self-striping yarn takes a while to create. But I got some Desert Vista Dye Works. And this is the Viso base, which is 75-25 superwash merino nylon. And the colorway is called Knitting Club. So that's just fun and crazy, and I like it. And then the last one, I saw Lemonade Shop had posted that they were putting up pre-orders of their colorway they call kitchen sink. And as you can see, there's just a little bit of everything in there, which I'm sure is why it's called kitchen sink. But I just thought it was fun and decided, yep, I need that one. So there you go. My yarn stash grew by way too much this weekend. So yeah, if you see me sharing yarn purchases in the near future, please slap me. I've been spending too much money on yarn. Coffee break. Oh, by the way, this is a Pioneer Woman tumbler. I got these at Walmart on the clearance shelf for like $9. I got 3 different patterns, and they're all these pretty floral. One is on a teal cup, one is on a stainless steel cup, and then there's this one on a purple cup. So $27 well spent, in my opinion. And it keeps my coffee hot, and I use them quite regularly, considering I've only had them about 2 weeks. Let's see here. Is there anything else that I need to share before I get on to live stuff? Looking around my craft area, which is all like woof in front of me. Yeah, that's it. So moving on to life stuff. As I mentioned, I was in Walla Walla this past weekend. Kicking the tripod. My older sister lives over there, and has for like 22 years or something now. Anyway, her husband was turning 50. I have a brother-in-law who's 50, you guys. My sister is 7 years older than me, so it's logical that her husband, who is older than her, is in his 50s now. But anyway, so that's the reason I was over there. And it was kind of a crazy week leading up to going over there. At first, it was going to be me and my husband and our 2 kids, my parents, my younger sister, and her husband and son. So it was supposed to be this whole big crew of us going over for the birthday party. Through a series of health-related events, it then turned out that, okay, so my dad, who is recovering from chemo and radiation for cancer, he's been out of treatment for about a month, but it's still making him feel pretty awful. He decided that he was not ready to make a 6+ hour road trip. So it just wasn't gonna, because of the type of, he had colon cancer. And so it affects his need to go to the bathroom, and being on the road that long just wouldn't work for him at this point. So he decided he needed to stay home. So we then changed the plans so that my mom would ride with me, my husband would stay home, and my sister, so we changed the plan so mom would ride with me and my husband would stay home. Cool. That's fine. Well then, my dad was not feeling too hot and decided that he needed to have mom stay home with him. And so that happened. And then my sister, well, she's put it out on Facebook, so all her friends know. Just found out she's pregnant. And she wanted to stay home because she just wasn't herself ready for a long road trip at that point either. So it turned out, because my husband had made plans in the switching up of things, so he was going to a Super Bowl party on Sunday and didn't want to miss out on it, and he wanted to, I think it was on Saturday, there were some tryouts for a play that he's going to be a part of, that he wanted to be at. So yeah, it was me and the boys going over to Walla Walla. Which was alright. We went over on Friday. We left around 12:30, 1 o'clock Friday afternoon. I put the boys in school in the morning and pulled them out early so that we could hit the road. And then so we drove over to Walla Walla. It got there around 8 o'clock in the evening. But that's, if it was made without stopping and without bad traffic, it can be like a 6-hour trip. The traffic was not good on Friday. There's this one stretch of highway between I-5 and Puyallup where my older brother lives, who wasn't able to go this weekend. But there's this stretch of road that's like 12 miles long between I-5 and this other highway that I was heading towards. I-90? Anyway, 12 miles. 12 miles. 3 accidents on that 12-mile stretch. And I was like, holy guacamole, people, do you not know how to drive? Anyway, so yeah, we were slowed down in traffic a lot on Friday, but once we got over the mountains, traffic was clear because there's not nearly as many people on the east side of the mountains. And we're zooming along at 70, 75 miles an hour because the speed limit's 70 over there for a good portion of that road anyway. And so zooming along, I think we got to Yakima. No, we ate dinner. We ate dinner in the Tri-Cities and then got to Walla Walla about 8 o'clock. We stayed at the most wonderful hotel in the world, Super 8. I'm being a little sarcastic there, but anyway. Our first room they put us in had a screaming toilet, so I went after, this hotel does have an indoor pool, so I took the boys down swimming right after we got there to let them work out some energy. And I went to the front desk on my way back up to our room and said, hey, my toilet was screaming. Can you help me in any way? Because I don't want a screaming toilet. Like, literally, I went, right when we got in the room, I needed the bathroom because, I'd been on the road. And I get in there, use the bathroom, flush the toilet, walk away from the bathroom, and it's this high-pitched screaming sound, which I'm not going to try to imitate because I don't want to scare you. But it went on for about 3 minutes, and I am not kidding about that. And I was like, this is not going to work for me. Because I know I at least am going to get up in the middle of the night, and if I do that, it'll wake up the boys. And who knows if they're going to get up in the middle of the night and use the bathroom, and then they'd wake me up. Really. So, anyway. So I went to the front desk, and they were kind enough to switch rooms and make sure that toilet wasn't screaming as well before they had me settle in permanently. So, yeah. And then, so we spent the night, and because this birthday party was a surprise party, I didn't get to see family that evening. Which is alright, since we got there at 8 o'clock, it would have been kind of silly to try to get together anyway. Then the following morning, my friend Lacey of the Knitted Cupcake lives not terribly far from Walla Walla. Walla Walla is right near the Oregon border, and she lives in Oregon. And so she came up from where she lives, and we met up at Starbucks a couple blocks from the yarn store and the fabric store that I mentioned. And we sat and knitted for about an hour and had coffee and breakfast. And my boys were so good because I had originally planned on just going by myself and having the boys hang out with a family member. Obviously that didn't happen, so I let them bring their electronics and they just sat there, and I got to hang out with Lacey. We chatted and we knitted, and such a good time. And then we walked over to the yarn store and we both had a moment of wool piggery, and the boys again sat down in the little knitting area and played on their electronics, and then we walked, because it's so cool. It's like perfect. There's same building. There's the yarn store on the right, and then right next door on the left is the fabric store. And I think the fabric store is called Stash, which is perfect. And so we both bought fabric and yarn, and Lacey's fabric came home with me because she wants a bag like this. So that's where the other zipper is going to. So I'm going to make her a bag like that. And yeah, so it was a good trip. I got to see Lacey, and then after we parted ways around noon, boys and I had some lunch, and then we went to this fun store called Inland Octopus, and it has amazing, crazy variety of toys. So my older son spent some of his own money. He bought this little tiny model of the Space Needle that he could build out of flat sheets of metal. It's like you take the pieces, it's like punched out pieces of metal, kind of. Anyway, it's a cool little thing, and he bought the tools to build it with, and something else, I can't remember what. And I bought Connor a bow and suction cup arrow set that he was just like, whoa! Because he's really been into weapons lately. Little 8-year-old boy loves his guns and bows and arrows. So anyway, so that was fun. And then we went to the party where I swear there were like 50 people in my sister's house, which is not a huge house in the first place. So it was loud, and I didn't know most of the people, but it was funny because there were people from when my sister and her husband lived over where I live. Some of the people from there came to the party as well, because they were like friends from, because I mean, April and Larry, they grew up in Aberdeen area, and so a couple of Larry's really good friends that he grew up and went to high school with, and church with us and that kind of thing, came over, and then one of those friends who was really good friends, you know, in Larry's growing up and early 20s years, came all the way over from Atlanta. And then lots of their friends that they've made over the couple decades they've lived over there were there. And there's this one couple that used to live where I live, and they went to church with my family. And now, around 2000, I think it was, they moved over to Walla Walla, and they go to church with my sister and her husband. Just purely unplanned thing. I don't know. It's funny. But anyway, so there were some people I knew, and I talked to people, and, you know, like my niece and her boyfriend, and my nephew and his wife and daughter, and yeah, it was my great niece. I got to hold my great niece again, and she's such a cutie pie. Her cheeks are like, oh, you just want to squeeze them. Yeah, so other than my past weekend, life has been, you know, trucking on, working, knitting. Not anything terribly exciting. The most exciting thing obviously was this past weekend where I road trip by myself with my kids. And yeah, so it was a good weekend. I had lots of fun, and I wish, you know, the rest of my family would have been able to make it, because they would have enjoyed it too, but, you know, things happen. And Mom told me last night we were at a thing where we were hanging out together, and she's like, yeah, turns out I probably could have come, but better safe than sorry. And I'm like, yeah, I'd rather Dad have you around and feel secure that way than have him be worried, you know, about how he's doing with his wife out of town for a couple nights. So, but yeah. And I feel like I've rambled on forever. Wow, it's been about an hour of video time. It'll probably be a little less once I get it all edited, because I will edit some things out, I'm sure. But yeah. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, 11:30. I have a little bit. Places to be early afternoon, so just making sure I'm good on time. So yeah, I am gonna go, I think, and do things that I need to do, like finishing. Oh, my sock pattern, I have a little more work to do on my end of things. The tech editor got me the pattern back with lots of good notes that I need to finish working on before I can call my pattern finalized and put the call out for test knitters. I really hope that I get my button gear, get that done today, and then send it back off to her, and so she would just have to give it another once over, and then I would be able to put the call out for test knitters. I'm getting excited. I can't believe I'm like really doing my first pattern. So I hope you guys like it as much as I do. I'm like, it's I think one of the things I'm going to do is, I need to create a video of how to cable without a cable needle, because this is my pattern is pretty cable-y. I mean, yeah, it's pretty cable-y. Let's put it that way. It's not like insane. Some people might look at it and be like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? But if you cable without a cable needle, it's not intimidating at all. So it's just that about every fourth row there is a cable row. And yeah, and that's not giving away too much saying something like that. But so if you are interested in test knitting and you don't mind doing cables, I will be putting the call out there. I do have 2 friends who have volunteered, and I will get, they haven't, well, Lacey has seen the pattern. She's like, if it works with my time schedule, then I would like to do it. And she saw the sock, showed it to her when I was visiting with her on Saturday. And so hopefully, yeah, hopefully I will have that ready for the call by the end of the week. So, and today is Tuesday, so I need to get my butt in gear. Oi. All right. Now that I have rambled on forever and ever, I will say goodbye. Oh, I hope you all have a very knitty couple of weeks, and I will see you again in the very near future, hopefully. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just need to go and scratch my nose and talk to you later. Bye.